a team. The ability to wait out that AA ult and not take a team fight while it's on is something that basically only Naga Siren provides a team. So that's a really intuitive pickup coming out of Sneaky Nyx Assassins. That will probably be a mid Naga Siren, going for that Radiance, very EG style. And hopefully, No Earth Spirit is going to come up with some early game, mid game counters in order to keep that Naga Siren corked up and prevent her from getting the farm that she needs.
Yep, but still a lot of potential for No Earth Spirit. If they do take a couple of good fights, they, of course, are dire. They can go for Roshan pretty quick. They just need one good right clicker to really reinforce that. And I could see things working out for them extremely well as well. I mean, really, the big deal is they got to prioritize the Naga Siren, keep her shut down so she doesn't pick up a relatively early Radiance. And I got to say, Visage is one of the best pickups to do that with. The controlling the lanes, Ancient Apparition and Visage together, they deal so much magical damage. And right now, Sneaky Nyx Assassin, they have a couple of really good lane dominant heroes like the Shadow Shaman, but compared to Visage, I mean, nothing really holds a candle.
Yeah, the other thing that Visage provides is once that Naga Siren does get up the Radiance and is trying to push in 2 or 3 lanes at one time, Visage has the global ability to send those familiars, be completely safe, and harass down the lanes with that, as well as the Ancient Apparition Ice Blast. Should be able to keep lane equilibrium pretty even once that Naga Siren does start getting going. As long as she's not like 5-6 slotted, those two should be able to do at least a fair amount of equalizing on the lanes.
So right now I'm seeing a couple of core pickups in the Darkseer and the Centaur. How do you think they're going to run that? Are we going to see offlane Darkseer and mid Centaur? Are we seeing like a Goblak-esque carry Centaur? What's going on?
I think we'll probably see that carry Centaur, and we very likely might see an aggressive tri-lane coming out of the Centaur, Visage, and Ancient Apparition. That just seems like it would fit in the style that they need to play up against Sneaky Nyx Assassins, keep them like corked up into the bottle, as we were saying. But also the 2 slows coming out of the Visage and Ancient Apparition are going to set up that Stomp, which will set up for the Ancient Apparition stun. And the extra damage that comes out of that Chilling Touch with the Visage is Soul Assumption. It just makes for a very, very brutal tri-lane. And you don't usually, if you have that kind of power, it makes sense to try and use it on as many heroes as you possibly can, rather than just getting it on one defensive playing offlaner.
Yeah, definitely. But of course, Sneaky Nyx Assassin knows what they're up against for the most part, and right now they have a very flexible draft. Often the Nyx Assassin is run in the off lane, but doesn't have to be relegated to that role, can go support. And here we're even going to see the Treant Protector, so a little bit more ratty play from the Naga if she wants to go farming very far behind the enemy lines. Here the Treant Protector can give her a little bit of an extra health buffer to make sure she can do that. And as far as negating any early potential push, that Living Armor is going to be make it really difficult for No Earth Spirit to take down more than one tier 1 within, like, let's say the first 15 minutes of the game, because they don't really have any really good push heroes. The Visage Familiars do some work for a quick burst of time, but without a Drow Aura or like in Howl, they kind of run out of steam pretty quickly. And from there, of course, Treant Protector is really good at keeping the team as a whole alive, so that's going to be great against the Ancient Apparition.
Yeah, keeping those towers up, particularly the safe and mid lane tower up, for that Naga Siren to have complete map control with a little bit of vision on top of that, will provide Sneaky Nyx Assassins with plenty of opportunities to open up for a 4v1, or excuse me, a 4-4-1 strategy, giving that Naga Siren everything she needs for the Radiance, and allowing that Nyx Assassin Shadow Shaman to feel pretty safe with the home base to spread out and make mischief. Just go ahead and attack No Earth Spirit's heroes and force them to be swatting at flies rather than thinking about the pile manure coming at them.
Yeah. I really think when it comes down to it, if there's like a full 5-on-5 force, that No Earth Spirit have the stronger lineup, even with a really good Treant Protector's Overgrowth. But when it comes down to the push and pull, the towers dropping down, to Mass Serpent Wards, to Naga's harassment, and of course the tree being able to just keep them sustained and keep them alive for a very long time, I really think that it's going to come down to how well SNA executes some Rat Dota and how well they can just take that early tower gold because of their sheer draft advantage in that regard.
Now, SNA does like to do this a lot. As I was saying earlier in the draft, they do like to be aggressive, and it does look like they're trying to opening up some space for the Shadow Shaman, the Nyx Assassin, and one hero to come out still to go out and be countering the No Earth Spirit's superior mid-game. Make sure that they are keeping No Earth Spirit on the back foot long enough for that Naga Siren to get open and then rat it out. No Earth Spirit's going to grab the Lone Druid. That's going to give them that tower push you were saying they needed. It will also put them into a fairly square late game carry category. So they've got mid game 5 on, as we were saying. They've got the 5-man fight mid game pretty well. And they have the late game all right if Naga Siren doesn't completely wreck before they get there. But the early game, it's really going to come down to execution and whether or not this is an aggressive tri-lane or not. So much for the 5-man on, too. What do you think of that Tidehunter pick?
It's really good here because of the fact that not a single one of No Earth Spirits heroes is a natural BKB carrier. I mean, yes, Darkseer, Centaur, even sometimes Lone Druid can pick it up for themselves or for the Spirit Bear, but it's not something that they want to pick up within the first 30, 40 minutes of the game. And against most lineups, that's where Tidehunter really falls short, is because his Ravage gets negated by BKB, he starts contributing less and less to the team fights. But here, he's going to be prevalent all throughout the entire time period. They don't have enough silence or hard lockdown to really take him out of the fight for long enough. And that means there is going to be some good Ravages coming out, and that really turns the nail on its head a little bit towards the other direction, where we're going to see some very successful kill attempts from SNA, and of course they get a very solid offlaner, as IX Mike is, I believe, taking that Nyx Assassin. Where do you think he's going to go with that?
He'll go offlane. IX Mike exclusively plays offlane for SNA. At least I've never seen him do a lane other than offlane for SNA. And that, bearing in mind that I cast SNA games like almost so much that it's basically my job is casting SNA at this point. It seems like they're everywhere that I happen to do casting. JDL, at the Tex, at the Sex, here at the King of the Hill, they can't seem to be knocked down. So yeah, Ice Mike will be going into that offlane almost without a doubt.
Nice. Well, if you have to cast one team consistently, it's got to be one that's as active as SNA. So yeah, this should be pretty interesting. We're already going to see a level 1 smoke movement toward the top lane. Not really worried about recovering the Roche, but they want to go out for blood. And if they could kill off this lone druid and keep his bear on summon for another 130 seconds, that would be incredible. But for right now, it looks like they're just going to be able to control up the jungle, get some good wards out, and scout out positions a little bit here.
Yeah, so this is something that they do every single game as well. If Ice Mike is playing the offlane, I think maybe 9 games out of 10, they smoke up, go into their opponent's jungle as 5. They put up this ward here and the blocking ward there. If they're on the Dire side, they put up a ward right here and a blocking ward behind it. So they do the same ward configuration over and over and over again, and one expects that they are going to start losing games because they're playing so predictably. But so far, nobody has really gotten that memo in terms of their opponents. But let's go ahead and run through our players real quickly while we do have some downtime before the game starts. I'll let you go ahead and run through a No Earth Spirit, and then we'll run through SNA.
All right. Well, like I said, I'm not too familiar, so if there are some aliases I don't know, then please let me know. But starting off, pink to brown, we're looking at Knave on the Ancient Apparition. He's going to be supporting alongside a fan of Soyeon on the Visage. Then up on top, there is going to be the Lone Druid. He's going to be going for a solo safe. It looks like versus a dual lane. And then, of course, we do have the Centaur picked up by Relic on the mid lane, leaving the Darkseer to be played by Half-Fried Egg Roll on the off lane, alongside 2 allies.
That is not a player name that I recognize, so it must be an alias, but I can't put my finger on whom it is. So
yeah, I tried to check it myself, and he has a private profile, so he wants to keep it secret.
So for Sneaky Nyx Assassins, we are going to have Whitebeard Dota coming up here on the Shadow Shaman, and we will have SNA himself taking that Watermelon, the Tidehunter. In the mid lane, we have Ush taking that Naga Siren in the one-on-one up against the Centaur. And Bright, otherwise known as Fluff and Stuff, a recent addition to the team, is going to be on that Treant Protector. And of course, we do have IX Mike taking... of course, I say IX Mike never doesn't take the offlane. I've never seen IX Mike take the offlane, or take a lane other than the offlane, and then he comes in here as a dual lane. I've also never seen SNA run a 2-lane, so this is interesting. I've seen them run dual mid before for the first 4 or 5 minutes of the game, and I can't help but wonder if this Treant Protector came down here just in case this was an aggressive tri-lane, which it is, to provide enough time for IX Mike to get the basics that he needs down, and then the Treant Protector might rotate up top. That's kind of what I expect. This tri-lane coming out of Ban Earth is not at all what I expected either, though, because the Darkseer is sitting down here with them instead of the Centaur.
Yeah, there are, of course, drawbacks to that. The Darkseer won't get his early points at vacuum nearly as readily as one who just goes for a solo lane, but all the same, he is putting out some pressure here. I still think that SNA made the right call. Essentially now, Nyx Assassin is unkillable underneath his safe lane tower, and it's going to force supports to rotate. Tidehunter is being able to zone out the Lone Druid up top with the help of Whitebeard, and it seems like right now there aren't many lanes that are won. However, on the mid lane, the Courier almost gets caught out, and now Naga Siren's in a bad spot. Naga
Siren is going to be healed up with that Treant Protector, but will it be enough? Relic is not going to be able to get in, and there is no Soul Assumption on the Visage quite yet. He is 5 experience away from having that up, and had he had that up, that would have been a kill. So just a little bit early on that.
Yeah, try to get the surprise rotation to go alongside the rune, since we are looking at 2 bottles, but even so, like you said, it was a little bit premature and they didn't find what they were looking for. Meanwhile, on top lane, Lundruid's going to take some damage.
Oh, he's actually potentially going to go down. Yeah, one last auto attack, and that's going to give SNA the first blood on the Tidehunter. That's going to mean a much faster Blink Dagger than expected, and could mean this mid-game comes much earlier than expected. Alongside the fact that they're doing a 2-1-2, which makes their mid-game more of a smooth transition, because they will have more experience on their offlaner at the expense of the experience of their farming carry, which is, honestly, they don't have a traditional farming carry here. So this 2-1-2 is actually working out pretty well for them so far. Getting the first blood will also help that mid-game transition. And as long as SNA rolls into that mid-game strong, can hold a in the bottom. I'm going to interrupt myself because would you see Fluff and Stuff being dive here by Half Fried Egg Roll. Half Fried Egg Roll is going to back out as Ike's Mike feigns a stun. There it is. That is going to be the stun. The Iron Shell is up, however, and the Freezing Touch has gone down. Bright now taking some amount of damage from Knave. Knave is going to throw out the stun as well. Bright is trying to get away as the health is bursted out. And now Knave is taking some amount of attacks from Ice Mike, who's standing in the Iron Shell. Half Fried Egg Roll now trying to move in on him. That was just kind of a loosey-goosey engagement by both teams.
Yeah, it's just kind of a little bit back and forth. Right now, there's not any hard kill potential from either side. We're going to see Leaf Seed come out, some good right clicks, and I think he actually gets the kill here,
yeah.
But being frozen by the Chilling Touch, or the Cold Feet, he probably will drop down to Darkseer.
Yep, so just a little bit of open trading going on there. The Darkseer giving him that extra golden experience on that kill is not something that you really want to see, especially since, oh wow, up in the top lane, we're actually going to see Whitebeard shoot through the trees, go up and throw up the shackles through them, and then come in for the kill on Bright. That's 2 deaths. Svanasoyan has rotated up here. He's got 1 level in Soul Assumption, but there's nobody even remotely close to dying, so came up here to try and help out, but was completely powerless to do anything there.
Yeah, this is just a very offensive support. Like, he can go for a lot of turnaround kills. He can set up kills very effectively. Actually, mid lane, Relic going to drop low. This Haste Rune might be enough to set up the kill. He does not have his Hoof Stomp, and he is delivering a lot of right clicks, but just a little bit too tanky, and here comes Ancient Apparition.
And the Hoof Stomp is off cooldown. With the bottling up, he is back up to full mana, and he now has a Chilling Touch on him as well to help him try to CS a little bit. Taking a look at our CS, Darkseer is on top, which is not surprising with that Iron Shell in an aggressive position. He's been able to dive the tower several times with that Iron Shell, either on creeps or on himself, and just kind of farm out like an axe would tower cutting.
Yeah. Along with that, it's kind of annoying for IX Mike. He really prioritized this mana burn early to shut down their kill potential when they were kind of running that tri lane. Now 1v1, using that mana burn on the Darkseer, he can always just Soul Ring up another Iron Shell. So there really isn't a way to stop these Iron Shells from continuously providing that harassment
and the top.
And making it even easier to kill.
Snot is going to go ahead and dive very deep. However, he's going to have to use the Rupture. Wow, excuse me. He's going to have to use his ultimate. I am really off my game today. Can you tell? He uses his ultimate there to get a 3-man stun as 2 TPs come in to try and protect Brix. Brix does not go down. With the Ravage, 2 R words. I'll tell you what. Bottom lane, we're going to see some engagement here on Knave. Knave is going to take that Leech Seed. He's also going to be shackled down. And he will end up going down to IX Mike, who now has his mana boots up, which is going to help him as we move into this mid-game. We're only at 6 minutes, so it already feels like the mid-game is starting to approach.
Yeah, I mean, Whitebeard has just been controlling things so well. Top, mid, and bottom. He has been all over the map and really is showing why you see that Blink Dagger rush out of him, because he really wants to be a prime player in all these engagements. Even this movement here, where he drops the Observer Ward and then hides in the tree line, where they're undoubtedly going to walk by. It's nighttime, and there is a good potential that they'll get a kill. Just shackles into Hex on the Darkseer, and that should be a pretty easy 2v1 kill. So, I mean, right now he's just making the smartest movements possible, sees his target, and it looks like they're going to go for it.
All right, he is going to come up. He's just outside of vision. However, Half-Right Egg Roll does turn around by chance. He will not get out, though. He is going to be hexed out and taking down Shadow Shaman, grabbing that kill, helping him work toward that Blink Dagger, as Relic is pushed all the way back behind his tower by the illusions in the mid. I thought that was an engagement, but it was just illusions on the minimap.
Yeah. So right now, 5 out of the 6 kills have been set up by Whitebeard. He's taken 3 of them, assisted on 2. He is really defining this early game for SNA. He's been allowing them to get some traction in every single one of their lanes, killing off really hard to bring down heroes like Lone Druid and Darkseer. We do see, however, the smoke up. Maybe they'll attempt on Ix Mike. He doesn't have Vendetta, but the Carapace is still there.
He's got the Carapace. He is going to be dove into this tower. He's trying to get out by the side chop. He's going to be graved, and he will be going down here to the Ion Shell. He throws up the grave, but it's just not enough. Or, wow. He throws up the... Wow, man. He throws up the Spike Carapace, and it is not enough. I don't know why. I've been casting already for like 7 hours today, and you can tell that I'm just drained.
Harsh. But on the top lane, we actually missed out. There was a kill on Bricks once again. So Baron cooldown for 40 seconds. His third death in only 8 minutes on this lone druid. It's just the positioning is really difficult for him, and it seems like a single leech seed was all they really needed.
And lone druid is such a farm-dependent hero too. This is absolutely devastating for Banerth. Like, they are already kind of hedging on the bet that they'll get into the late game a little bit earlier than SNA will, and that the Earth Spirit will end up getting 8 or 9 slotted by the time. Actually, Ice Mike is just going to come in here, throw out a very nice 2-man Impale. He's going to go through some auto attacks as well. There comes the Ayak. There comes the ultimate coming out of SNA. The half-fried egg roll is going to go ahead and pop up a salve, and he will be getting away, but that is a 1-man kill. 1 for nothing, and they will also get the deny in the tower. And Visage is actually caught up here. He's going to be shackled down, and SNA is going to continue to just whack on him until he goes down. That's a double kill for Tidehunter.
Smart movement to dodge out the Ravage, but he was pinned down and he didn't have a TP scroll, so no way getting out. I actually sincerely hope they don't deny the tower. If they can just get a few living armors on that, that'll be back up to snuff, and that's less gold that Banner Spirit is going to be able to pick up in this early game stage. Actually, Stampede on mid lane, a lot of damage on Naga, but I don't think it's the kill.
No, it's done. Yeah, she doesn't have any mana, but he can't also stand in that tower without any creeps. And the fact that Relic hasn't rotated down to try and get that tower in a 4-man push while it's so low is kind of surprising to me. You know that living armor is going to come out, and I just assumed that Banerth would prioritize getting that tower as quickly as possible while it's down in deny range. At least force SNA to get rid of the map control that gives up. But you're right, they're not going to prioritize that whatsoever, and it is just going to be healed right back up.
Damage on mid, a war trap even. Relic in a bad spot here, and I think he will go down. The right clicks are coming through. The armor and the magic stick is just barely enough, and he will bottle away. That was a really close call there. Just right clicking through the Serpent Ward, and unfortunately for SNA, not falling.
Still forcing them back to the fountain will help them out a little bit. Remember, they are just trying to get through the mid game. They are just trying to make sure that this Naga Siren can get up her Radiance, that the Blink Dagger can come out of the Tidehunter, and it is going to be out in about 100 gold. The Blink Dagger also on the Shadow Shaman is what they're probably looking for. So once they get into that stage, and that's part of the reason why you pick up the Treant Protector, is to artificially extend the early portions of the mid game while letting your towers stand that much longer. That way you are able to roll into the mid game just a little more smoothly. And so far they've been doing a very strong job of that. Also getting quite a few kills and a 3,000 gold lead.
Yep. Looking at top lane, they're going to smoke up with both the Shadow Shaman and the Tidehunter. No Ravage available, but it still should be a kill on Lone Druid once again.
And Lone Druid's wise to it. He is going to teleport back to Bear and actually grab himself an Entangle on the Shadow Shaman, who's going to fall behind. Without that Shadow Shaman, the entire strategy falls apart. There's going to be a Stampede reaction. Bright's going to use his ultimate as Fan of Soyan is taking down Whitebeard. Whitebeard is going to get the living armor. Very nice play by Bright as he runs away. Fluff and Stuff showing his value with his micro skills. What he's known for, really. Just keeping his eyes all over the map. Bottom lane, where, speaking of all over the map, we are seeing half-right egg roll go down just as Ice Mike goes down too. That's a 1-for-1 trade. But the Naga Siren grabbing one of those kills for almost 300 gold as she's trying to rush out of Radiance. They can be pretty happy about that trade.
Yeah, really, definitely a good kill for us. Unfortunately, 1-for-1. I think if Ice Mike had maneuvered a little bit differently, went for the right click, immediately walked away, and then went for the stun, might have survived, but so much action across the map, it's hard to keep on top of it.
In the top lane, and the Ward Trap is going to go ahead and grab down Relic. Relic's also going to be shackled, just to make sure it doesn't happen again with the auto attack out. Put the Ward Trap up, and then hold him there inside of it as the rest of his team tries to chase off any support that's going to be coming from No Earth Spirit. That's 11-3 in favor of Sneaky Assassin. Do you see what I was talking about in the draft? These guys like to play aggressive, and they love a 4-for-1 strategy.
Absolutely. This is just great movement from them. Now, kind of surprised that this is the second time we see Mass Serpent Wards not under a tower. It is going to delay this top push, but I still think they get it. I mean, they have so much presence here with these heals from the Treant, and no, they're going to fall back, seeing the Ancient Apparition ulti possibly coming.
And that was a very smart fallback, I think. Remember, they're going to go after Bricks, and Bricks is trying to get the Entangle with the Bear, and he does manage to get it, giving himself freedom, but he's going to be slowed by SNA as Bright goes and slows Fan of Soyan. There is, the Treant ult is going to miss, and Relic is going to come in with that Stampede. Now he's attacking down SNA trying to tag out as Half-Right Egg Roll comes in. And now Whitebeard caught in a bad place. He's going to go and try to use Shackle, but he's not going to be able to. There's going to be the additional damage going out on the Pulse with the Visage. The AA is going to go down as well. Some additional auto attack. A very nice two-man stun coming out on Bricks. Bricks is going to go down to the double damage rune coming out of Ice Mike as he's blocked by Half-Right Egg Roll. No! The bear gets an entangle wall on the back end. Relic is just wrecking the rest of the team. That is a 3 for 2, all things said. Ice Mike now being chased by Half-Right Egg Roll. The AOL is going to miss, but the living armor is there. He's being chased down. He does not have any additional mana. He's got just enough for a mana drain, which will not help him here. He does throw it out on Half-Right Egg Roll, but he will end up going the way of the cockroach. 3 for 3 with a buyback coming out of Nowhere Spirit.
Yeah, but then we do see the entire time Naga Siren pushing down on the bottom lane, very close to that Sacred Relic, and just looking so strong in this position. If they can fight like that without her, then imagine when she actually joins in with an illusion or two. Some great movement from Ice Mike, finding the double damage rune, getting the two-man impale, really made sure that they could seal the deal. And it was actually a really close call in Lone Druid. That last tick of Urn of Shadows was actually what brought him down. And you hate to see him falling so many times. Brick having a rough game with 4 deaths already. Like, there's just nothing that can be done for him. SNA have his number, and they have just been target firing every single opportunity.
Yeah, look at the net worth chart right now. That Lone Druid is down just barely above the Treant Protector. And it's going to get worse as Treant Protector grabs himself a last hit on the Tier 1 mid. That's the first Tier 1 to drop in the game, and this is going to be the official call for movement coming out of SNA. They grab one Tier 1, they're immediately going to have some rotation going up to the top Tier 1. And towers everywhere are going to be a-crumbling.
Yeah, I think the Dire saw that one, though. They have an Observer Ward in mid, a really good position, and I'm pretty sure they're aware of the movements of SNA. So as sneaky as their team name may be, I think they're going to be routed on this one. And that means some safe time for Banner Spirit to make their movements on mid, on bottom, and then to make their rotations up top once they find it appropriate.
Yeah. Banner, taking a look at their vision, they still have not been able to get any sort. Oh, they're actually going to find out Relic. Relic is going to be attacked down by the Vendetta. There goes also the Treant Protector coming in there. There's a Shackle. Relic taking enough damage. He's down to almost 500 health right now, trying to back out with the... There's the ultimate. Relic being held still. The AOL is going to come in to try and defend him. It will not hit anybody except SNA. SNA now throwing out the Ravage. Relic is going to go down. Oh, wow. Whitebeard getting both those kills with the Aftershock. Now Knob on the block, but... Half-Right Egg Roll trying to help him get away. There's a very nice vacuum, followed by a surge on himself, and he will end up saving the AA and himself. Unfortunately, not able to save that Centaur or the Visage.
Yeah, such a great last pick, that Tidehunter. I mean, his Ravages have been so on point this game. Now he has that Blink Dagger and 2100 gold, and we haven't even seen the Wall of Replica being skilled up here. Now, some of the viewers may be wondering why the Centaur Warrunner held onto his Stampede for so freaking long. It's because of the Overgrowth. It's essentially a 1-for-1 counter if they're already on top of you. You use the Overgrowth right when the Stampede comes out, you're going nowhere. And that's a really, really big deal in these fights as far as how they choose to maneuver. I mean, when you're locked down, rooted in place, and there's really nowhere for you to go, then they obviously have all the time in the world to just deliver so much damage with these magical nukes.
Yeah, not just the Overgrowth, but the Ravage that is now on a Blink Dagger wielding Tidehunter. So you got to worry a lot about this AoE when you are trying to do these 4-on-5 engagements up against Sneaky Nyx Assassins. And as I was trying to say before that engagement started, look at the vision that Banner has. They're actually going to be moved in on Relic as Mike opens up again. There is going to be the Leech Seed followed by the Impale and the Shackle, and he had absolutely no opportunity to get away. The Familiars are going to try to heal up as Phantasorian tries to get back. There's the Soul Substitute out on Whitebeard, but the Siren Song as the Mistress comes into battle, and she has her Radiance. She's ready to make her debut. Now coming forward, there's a very nice two-man Impale. Nave taking too much damage. Alicia going out healing everybody. The AA drops, but not before he gets off his ultimate. Now, Half-Right Egg Roll is trying to get in, make sure SNA does go down. He's using that Iron Shell. SNA is going to go down. The Serpent Wards have gone up, but he's going to be chickened out with the Hex. Whitebeard coming in. There's going to be the Impale. Whitebeard has to get outside of the range of that Iron Shell. He will. The other shot goes out, and that's going to be an additional kill to Shadow Shaman. And that is the GG call for No Earth Spirit. They've had enough.
Yeah, I don't blame them whatsoever. That Radiance coming in, setting up the Mass Serpent Wards with the Song of the Siren. What a beautiful team fight, and a very smart draft from SNA. They played it different than their traditional style. As you mentioned, they usually go for the 3-1-1. In this case, finding a 2-1-2, which set them up for a couple of early kills on Lone Druid, controlling him, and once he was shut down, they really just had control of the map as a whole. So great movement from SNA, and I can't wait to see the rest of the matches.
Absolutely. So for Dota Trash, my name is Gorgon the Wonder Cow. You can catch me over on Twitter at GotCowDota, and I'm joined by Blaze.
Yeah, and I'm over on twitter.com/blazecasting.
So, thanks for tuning in, and we're going to be right back with this best of 3 series between Nowhere Spirit and Sneaky Nix Assassins. The winner will be taking home $100. Stick around.